I respect that. You're taking in a lot and choosing to move intentionally at your own pace. That's smart leadership of your own journey. I'm excited to hear how your first day goes and how these commitments play out in your real world. Remember, progress isn't perfection. What matters is showing up for yourself. I'll be here when you're ready to share. What's your commitment right now for the day ahead?
My commitment is to give my best when I take care of my kids for the weekend.
That commitment speaks volumes. Being fully present and giving your best to your kids is foundational and profound. I hear you prioritizing what matters most in your life right now, and that's true strength. When you show up like that, everything else has a solid base to build from. Carry that intention with you and let it fuel your energy for everything else you want to achieve.
Did you just hear that? That was Tony Robbins talking directly with me. Did I pay him $500,000 to have him coach me personally? No, I didn't. But I did download the Tony Robbins App AI, and it's helped me a lot during the past few weeks and months. So this video is going to be a review of the Tony Robbins App AI. I'm going to share with you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. We'll also talk about the price because it comes as a subscription, and we'll compare it to what booking a traditional therapist might cost or a business coaching. And then I'll share with you who I think the app is for and who is not for. I'll also share with you 2 concrete examples where the app and his coaching really blew my mind. And in the end, if you stick with me, I have 3 bonus questions that Tony Robbins likes to ask in many different ways, but those are the types of questions that will really help you move forward. And even if you don't get the app, they will help you progress towards your goals a lot more elegantly and faster. Before we dive right in, let me just give you a bit of context. I'm currently separated from my wife and in part from my 2 kids. We've been married for many years, and I'm currently living in my office taking showers at the close by John Reed gym. It's a really nice gym, by the way. If you live in Berlin, Prenzlauer Berg, I can highly recommend it. So I'm in a major life transition, and in this transition, the Tony Robbins App AI has played a big role. So let's start with what I like about the app. First, it feels very real. I mean, you just heard what happened when I talked with Tony. Second, I could just pick up my phone and talk to Tony, and when I felt low, I could get motivation to just, continue and taking the next step. Third, it acts as an accountability partner. So even during this major life transition that I'm in right now, I do have goals. I don't want to stagnate. So I can just call Tony, talk to him, and he will remember what we last discussed, and we can pick up from there. So what are the things that I don't like about the app? Well, the very first thing I noticed when I first started using the app is that sometimes it can take a bit long for the AI to come up with an answer. So I would discuss something, and sometimes I'd need to wait 5 to 10 seconds before Tony replies. And that makes it feel a bit less natural. Second, Tony likes to lead with a lot of follow-up questions. For example, I'm discussing something with him, and in my mind, I have a new question because of something he said. He usually asks the next question, and sometimes I even forget my question because he leads with his question. So what I need to do is interrupt him and tell him, hey Tony, can I come back to your question? And can I first ask you my question? Of course, the AI will then do that, but this can feel a bit annoying. And third, sometimes Tony asks questions that are a bit hard to answer because sometimes his questions are a bit long. So what I need to do then is say something like, hey Tony, I didn't get the question. Can you maybe repeat that or ask the question in different words? And then the AI will do it. But this can be a bit annoying as well. So what about the price? You do pay $99 per month, and if you decide to sign up, you'll find a link below my video. It will lead you directly to a page where I think you can get the try it for $1 and you can use the app for 2 weeks and then decide if you want to continue using it. So is it expensive? Is it cheap? For sure isn't cheap, but if you compare it to a traditional therapist, it's actually not that expensive, because I did pay $120 for an hour with a therapist here in Berlin, Prenzlauer Berg. And I do like talking to real human, and that has advantages. But when I compare it to that, and I have Tony on my phone, and I can call him anytime when I wake up, when I brush my teeth, or even in the night, which I've done in the past, like at 3 a.m., couldn't sleep. He gave me very interesting insights how I could deal with a certain situation. Also, if you compare it to Tony coaching you directly, which I don't think is an option for most people on this planet because it's very expensive. So if you compare it to that, it's really a bargain. Now I want to tell you about 2 examples where the app and his coaching really helped me a lot. One is from my business. I'm working with sales, so sometimes I deal with prospects ghosting me. It's a very common phenomenon. It's very common in sales that sometimes a prospect will say yes to you on the phone or on a Zoom call, but then right afterwards they will just ghost you and ignore you. And I wanted to know from Tony what he thinks about it. And he basically told me, hey, that's very natural, and he explained all the reasons why this happens. And then he just suggested something which really blew my mind, and which apparently not many salespeople do. He said, Julian, just follow up with value. You could basically tell your prospect about something you discovered, or send them an article to something they can learn about, and not asking them for the sale, which most people will do. And then in my private life, I really wanted to know from Tony how I could have been cold-hearted with the person I love the most, my wife. And we uncovered in our discussion that I had been cold with myself, demanding a lot from me, not feeling okay when I was sick. I mean, feeling guilty about it, and always seeing the need to perform like a machine. And whenever something or someone didn't work in my environment, including myself, I got very nervous. So he basically nudged me in the direction of more self-love and more self-caring. So who might benefit from the Tony Robbins app AI? If you like and know Tony Robbins like I have, then you will probably love the app, because you just get more of what you already like. Second, if you're serious about change, if you're stuck or in pain or in a life transition like I am, it's going to help you big time. Also, if you're inspired to reach the next level, it will help you. But if you're comfortable doing what you're doing and you don't see a need to change, it might not help you so much. Also, if you don't like Tony Robbins' style, which is a bit special because he has a lot of energy and not everyone likes that, then you might actually be annoyed by the app, and in that case you shouldn't get it. Another reason why it makes total sense to use the app is if you're looking for an accountability partner. It's one of the best ways to do it, because you can at the end of the day just have a check-in call with Tony, and he will ask you where you last picked off, and he will remind you of the things you wanted to work on, which is awesome. So now, as promised in the very beginning of this video, what are 3 types of questions that Tony likes to keep coming back to, and that will really help you get unstuck or move to the next level towards achieving your goals? First is the question, how will you make sure you will actually follow through? And it sounds a bit basic, the question, but there are so many ways you can ask this question and come up with so many different answers how you can make sure you actually follow through. Second, what can you do to get in the right state of mind to actually do the thing you want to do? Because your state determines your action. And third, how can you place visual cues in your environment that will remind you of the person you want to become and the actions you want to take? And those are basically 3 questions that he repeats over and over in different flavors and variations. and they really help me to get unstuck and move to the next level. So that's it for my review of the Tony Robbins App AI. I also booked the Date with Destiny seminar coming up in December. If you're also planning to go to that event, I'd love to connect with you. Just post a comment below this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.